My name is Paul Asbell, and I am now looking at and thinking about Theo Scharpach's 18-inch Chinery blue arch top. Really striking because of some real unusual, aesthetic features. I'll try to describe them first, and I'll describe a little bit more about the guitar kind of functionally. But the aesthetic things, what are different than most of the other arch tops in the collection, or any other arch top I think I've really ever seen. Really unusual bridge, tailpiece, and it has these sort of missing a lot of the wood in here, which of course has been removed strategically, because the lighter you can make a number of these things, the better. And this is kind of remarkably thin here. So it's really actually a very clever design. He has these little cutouts here where the loop that attaches the tailpiece to the end, but you can sort of see the little screws that kind of fasten them. And there's kind of a slightly unusual way in which the strings terminate here, this end. There's no real binding that I believe I can, or no, well, maybe there is binding, and no, that's not right. There's just a very unusual wood facing here that has been colored blue. So in other words, he chose not to make the binding another color. But there is sort of a wood-faced binding in there. Really unusual pick guard. And then on the headstock, it's apparently the only one of this collection that was made as a slot head, which is kind of a conventional thing in the flat top world, but pretty unusual, and of course in the classical world, but unusual in the arch top world. Also these fairly unusual, striking little metal plates that cover the tuning gears. And it is, I would sort of describe it as kind of European in its aesthetic, which of course isn't very surprising. It's called the Blue Vienna, and Theo Scharpach is actually based in Holland, so I guess it's not surprising at all. This is actually the lightest one of all of the guitars, and it's very kind of responsive as a result. It actually feels sort of almost like a classical guitar, which is much lighter than the typical jazz arch top, and to my ear responds more like, in some ways, a flat top or classical guitar than like the typical jazz arch top. You can get a remarkable variety of really nice tones out of it, whether you're using fingers with nails or thumb, or bare fingers in kind of almost folk style or classical kind of playing. It seems as if the variety of tones you can get out of it is really quite large, and it's actually a kind of a fascinating guitar. And to me, it was a real surprise. I wasn't expecting to find it such a strong contender in the collection, but